Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Silmarillion Comments and Quotes. This is the sixth session, which is exciting because this is the one before last, meaning next month we are going to finish. But to start, I am with Adriana here, and we're going to check some vocabulary. Uh, just last month and also this month, I was really taking more notes of words. Also, there were a lot of words I didn't understand, but I recognize that they are words that Tolkien has already used, and I never finished learning them. But still, I chose some because it was impossible to make a list of all of them because they are too many. So let's. Um, I have my list. We're going to have our Kahoot at the end.
Woohoo.
And my list. And today I have only 16 words. This was an interesting word, barter.
Barter.
Oh, barter.
Barter.
That it was when very someone was exchanging something. I think with Morgoth. I think it was, but like a bargain, like an exchange that they did.
Okay.
And benighted. Well, this is not a good.
Benighted.
This is not a good. A good. It's old fashioned. So every word is old fashioned or literary when it comes.
Okay.
To it says without the benefits, but no. The answer is here in word origin. Benighted, late 16th century, in the sense of being overtaken by darkness. I think this is what Tolkien meant.
Benighted. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Bering or someone that was like in the middle of anything, covering the darkness of night or something. It was benighted. It was nice,
Exactly.
a nice adjective. But with the word origin, we kind of understand it. A cairn,
Cairn.
a pile of stones. Well, I wouldn't know that was a cairn. A carrion, that is
Carrion.
what the vultures eat, right? Because it was some carrion birds when Beren had a dream. Was it Beren? Beren, right? Yeah, of his father, right? Yeah, because he was the only one that was saved. It's well, we're not going to discuss that. Descry.
Descry.
And Tolkien says, and they were descried. So sing, come on, Tolkien,
I
give
had
me a
to look
break.
that one.
Describe. They were described. It sounds like what? Did this?
Exactly. Just cry.
Yeah.
They didn't cry.
Yeah, it sounds like something bad or something. I don't know. It's weird. And then I looked this dam because, well, it's not a dam that is used in modern days, no, but a dam that freezes
It
you.
is
Right?
literal.
It's literal. Yes, unable to speak.
Exactly.
And that's what happened. Falter, but I don't remember
Falter.
when it was.
Fen.
Fen, well, a wetland, a space, a geographic thing that.
Heath.
I had to look for heath. Also, is a large area, but because I'm watching the Peaky Blinders, and the place where they live is a small heath. Well,
Okay.
rough grass. Well, just a green
Lair.
area. A lair, they use this a lot
Lair.
also in Bering and Luthien, where their lair was, or whatever, no? where they were, right? And I looked the lay because of the lay of
Lay.
Lethian and the lay of the children of Húrin, and the lay, does it mean something? Yeah, okay. Well, the poem, the lay of Lethian. Also, they use lest a lot,
Lest.
like to avoid something. No? They did it lest something else. plundered.
Plunder.
Yeah, and they stole things.
Unkempt.
And this is, I think, of Turing after a while, and he was all unkempt, looking terrible. And I look wrong as a verb because
Yeah.
it
They
was
say they
Wrong.
wronged them.
the wronged. No, it was the name of someone. The wronged. Someone that
Oh,
was
exactly.
mistaken. I don't know if it was Turing or someone. I put yield because I always confuse yield with yearn.
Oh,
But yield
Yield.
in the sense to stop resisting, to yield, to no, to give in, but then they yearn as well.
okay.
Depending on the context, sometimes I make mistakes. All right.
Great.
So that was the vocabulary. Some of the vocabulary, at least. Now we can discuss Bering and Luthien and why you don't like it.
Oh.
No, let's focus on the positive.
Okay.
First of all, I would like to say that, well, I bought the book last year and I started reading it. I really like it because I'm a romantic. But in the book, it just goes straight to this, or maybe it's just that I love the romance, and I just remember Beren going and looking at Lucien and then hanging out. But here, there's this story before that, and I was like, "What is this? I don't remember any of this on my book, Beren of Lucien."
Oh, the history, the story of his father?
Yes.
Ah, okay, okay.
Who is Barahir? Beren, son
Um,
of Barahir, right? No.
eh,
Beren, son of Barahir.
yes, son of Barahir.
Beren, son of Barahir. So in the story, we start with another love story. Usually they do not love that either. I was
What love story? Oh, yes, 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 yes. The guy that Melkor tortures.
yes, exactly.
Yes,
I
yes, yes, yes.
loved his wife or whatever he didn't know, and then I don't know if it was Melkor
She
or
was
it was
dead.
Sauron.
Oh, Sauron, not
It was
Melkor,
Sauron
Sauron.
indeed. Yeah, because I took uh, the I took the quote from it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because I found it interesting. Um,
Okay.
hi,
Hello.
hi Fernando, but hi Luis Fernando. How are
Hi,
you?
Gerald.
You know Adriana? Fernando, Adriana, Adriana, Fernando. Yeah, you should know each other.
I think we met,
Yeah, probably
yes, in the end.
in a different era. So we're discussing Bering and Luthien and the beginning of the chapter when there's another love story by which Sauron and then Morgoth know where Barahir is. Oh well, people are coming. Things are happening.
Yes, the guy that is tortured.
Yes, and he's like,
Yes, and he gives him because of his wife. He wanted to see his wife and stuff.
exactly.
It's very sad.
It's
So
very
sad.
sad.
Wow.
And it is the first story, and it's in this case a typical Tolkien that gives you a name, and I think maybe it's the name that makes you connect with the characters. And lately, now that I'm almost at the end of the book, I do go back to see who was this person.
I forgot his
The one
and
that
the
is not
wife's
so
name.
important. Yes. Yeah,
I
well,
forgot.
and the name is well, yeah. What can we do?
It's horrible. It's a very tragic story, and it's so short and so sad. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And well, I might as well read it now. I'm going to read what
Okay.
Sauron says because, and I chose it because it's similar to what Beren will say a few pages later, I mean, a few days later, a few months later, when answering to Thingol. Because the guy said like, no, he didn't give in. He didn't want to say anything about where he was not going to give them away until, well, eventually he said, okay, I will, but if you let me be with my wife. And this is the quote. Then Sauron smiled, saying, that is a small price for so great a treachery. A treachery. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce this word. A treachery.
Oh no.
That's a so small price for so great a treachery. So shall it surely be, say on. So it's just the devil. This is what the devil does, you know, entices you. And then when you commit the sin, he says, oh, you're such a loser. How could you do that? You are mean and bad. That was really, really, really mean. And what is sad also is that he actually, I mean, did what the guy wanted, because he killed him so he could be with his wife. So you want to be with her, so if you go die and be with her. Your wish has been granted. Kind of like the evil genius, you know, the jokes of getting it all wrong. That's not what I meant, but it happened. Hi, Javier. Welcome. And then there's the story of Beren and Luthien. And well, about that story, I could say that I love it because too many things happen, and it's not, you know, I'm a basic romantic. So you put any stupid romantic comedy, and I will fall for it because there is a kiss at the end. And you know, there's a problem and they solve it. And here it's not like that. There's a problem, and then there's another problem, and then something else happens, and then something different came into be. And I love it. It has so many twists, and well, in the end, one dies, but they don't die. And even the returning is not so clear as people put it. As people say, oh yeah, they died, but they didn't die. Well, it's not like that. So what can I say? I love it. It is a novel itself, a movie itself. And the fact that that Luthien transforms into animals, that is just like great. I love it. Okay, now you speak, because I can't speak for them.
Okay. Can I say my quote?
Yes, now? I'll look it up and put it in the chat.
Okay, let me copy. This copy. Okay, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Okay. I chose this quote because to me it's very clear that Luthien is so powerful and everyone forgets about her or doesn't put her even in the second place, not even in the second place. And she's really powerful. So this is when she rescue Beren from Sauron's fortress. It says, then Sauron yielded himself, and Luthien took the mastery of the isle and all that was there. And Huon released him, and immediately he took the form of a vampire, great as a dark cloud across the moon, and he fled, dripping blood from his throat, upon the trees and came to Taurnfluin and dwelt there, filling it with horror. Then Luthien stood upon the bridge and declared her power, and the spell was loose, that bound stone to stone, and the gates were thrown down, and the walls opened, and the pits laid bare, and many thralls and captives came forth in wonder and dismay, shielding their eyes against a pale moonlight. For they had lain long in the darkness of Sauron. But Beren came not. Therefore Huan and Luthien sought him in the isle, and Luthien found him mourning by Felagund. So deep was his anguish that he lay still and did not hear her feet. Then thinking him already dead, she put her arms about him and fell into a dark forgetfulness. But Beren, coming back to the light out of the pits of despair, lifted her up, and they looked again upon one another, and the day rising over the dark hills shone upon them. They buried the body of Felagund upon the hilltop of his own isle, and it was clean again, and the green grave of Finrod, Finarfin's son, fairest of all the princes of the elves, remained inviolate, until the land was changed and broken and foundered under destroying seas. But Finrod walks with Finarfin, his father, beneath the trees in Eldamar. And I love that last part, that Finrod was so good that he didn't stay long at Mandos. He's now walking with Finarfin in Valinor. I love that. That's why I chose that.
Yeah, it's the last part wasn't pasted.
Oh, it didn't
as
get
a-
fixed. Okay. Well,
Well, and that's another good thing of these chapters. There are really beautiful friendships. No, that is very nice.
yes.
And yes, and there is also, I think, twice that she heals him, right? And I think
Yes.
that was I'm just guessing because I've never went too far into this. Why Peter Jackson made Arwen fix Frodo because she was kind of like a Luthien that could heal like Luthien did.
Well, Luthien is descendant from Luthien. Arwen.
Arwen. I think maybe that was his, argument.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
And magic is all around.
And love.
And love is all around.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so powerful that just she spoke, I think, right? Declared her power. I think in a moment also she sings and everything is fine again. Oh man.
She's so powerful that she doesn't know how powerful she really is, because she was like a captive in her realm.
Oh yeah.
She was like
that part of Rapunzel.
Doll, princess doll, all in a crystal ball. So,
There are like too many things, and there's the hair that made the others sleep, and then there's the cloak, and there's like
exactly. There are a lot of things that she does, and it is normal to her. She doesn't know that no one else does.
Yeah, it's true that. And Luis, Jonathan, Javier, what say you?
I have a quote
Yay.
from Beren and Luthien, right? The chapter, okay?
Yes.
Let me put it in the chat. Okay. Okay, should I put it in context or just read?
Of course, put it in context.
Okay, it's when Beren is talking to Thingol, and Melian, and Thingol requests for the Silmaril to give his approval, would you say, to for him to marry Luthien, right? But Beren laughed. For little price, for little price, he said. Do elder kings sell their daughters for gems and things made by craft? But if this be your will, Thingol, I will perform it. And when we meet again, my hand shall hold the Silmaril from the Iron Crown. For you have not looked the last upon Beren, son of Barahi. Then he looked in the eyes of Melian, who spoke not, and he bade farewell to Luthien Tinuvian. And bowing before Thingol and Melian, he put aside the guards about him, and departed from Menegroth alone. Then at last Melian spoke, and he said to Thingol, O king, you have devised cunning counsel, but if my eyes have not lost their sight, it is ill for you, whether Beren fail in his errand or achieve it, for you have doomed either your daughter or yourself, and now is Doria thrown within the fate of a mightier realm. Okay, I chose that because, I mean, Thingol makes all the bad decisions at that moment, right? He puts himself in the even inside in the Mando's curse, like in all of it, because he now tries for a Silmaril, and well, that should be it for all his realm and Melian's stuff, you know. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, elves are kind of. I mean, I don't know. What would you say? What's the word? What's
there's
the
there's not like a middle point, you know. They are either just wise or really, really fucking evil.
dictatorial? Would you say? It's
Yeah,
like
and he had like the wisest, advisor,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And if your wife is an angel, you might want to take her word, you know.
yes, yes, but no, you're an elf. You're an elf.
Nah.
Yeah,
I love this moment because Beren is such a mad lad in that moment, you know. He just said, "Ha!"
Because of love.
Yeah, he laughs, you know,
yeah.
just for low price do the Elven King sell their daughters. Damn.
Which is which reflects a lot of elven traditions, like elven life, which I don't know. Elves are kind of weird.
Well, yes. Also that, but he was stupid to to actually want the Silmaril.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
why would he want it? I mean, did he ever really think that he was going to, you know, overrun the Noldor, the exiles, that he was not gonna get into a bad fight for it?
I mean, I guess he expected I don't know. I guess first of all he didn't expected that Beren was going to look for aid in Nargothrond, and even if he suspected that, I don't think he might wonder just thought of the possibility of Finrod just leaving the crown and going with him. You know, much. I mean, it was kind of it's the whole thing with Doom. You know, Beren was destined to perform this thing. So when he's given the mission, I mean, the fact that Beren crossed the girdle of Melian in the first place showed that he wasn't just any common guy. First of all, Melian already tells him, you know, tells to Single that he might want to be just a bit chill with the situation and with the guy because there's something more here. And you know when he asks for the Silmaril, of course he thinks he's sending Beren to his death. But of course there's the whole Doom thing, and who would have told that Beren will manage to do it?
No, but you're right. He didn't count on Luthien's being really in love with him and actually
And he, I
helping
think
him.
he exactly he just underplayed the fact that Lucien really loved the guy.
And he actually explained himself. I want to share this quote with you too because I didn't understand it, but I'm going to copy it. But keep talking.
Um,
I mean, I really love this part of the Silmarillion. I really love this story.
just I just thought about, you know, SpongeBob first episodes when when they request for him the ultra spatula.
Oh, because no one thinks that it actually
That
exists.
yeah, you could actually make it, and he actually makes it.
This is it. But Thingol answered, I sell not to the elves or men those whom I love and cherish above all treasure. And if there were hope or fear that Beren should come ever back alive to Menegroth, I understand meaning that there was no hope, right? He shouldn't have looked again upon the light of heaven, though I had sworn it. This is what I understand. Does it mean he wouldn't have? What does it mean, the light of heaven? Uh,
I think
Glorias?
he's saying that yeah, no. I think he's saying, if he managed to come back,
Huh?
he's gonna kill him, like plain and simple. There's no sunlight for Berenje if he comes back. I mean, he's saying, though I had sworn it, he's saying,
Uh-huh.
okay, I said that if he come back, he can have the hand of Luthien, but no, because
No.
that's the thing with Single, he's kind of a dick. No,
So
not he's kind of a dick. He's a
Kind of,
massive dick.
kind of,
He's an asshole.
he's
he's a bad dude.
Yeah, he's not a good guy.
he's cunning. He's not true to his word.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's kind of fucked up considering he's an Elven King, and he's just like one of the ancient Elven Kings, and
He's
there's this whole
deceiving.
culture
He's
of
deceiving.
oaths.
That's
Mightier of all the Forsaken. Is it the Forsaken?
he's a liar.
Diva, exactly. That's what we said with
I
Adrian.
can just think of Thranduil.
I have a
And the
quote
L'Oreal hair.
for this story as well.
Okay.
Trandul.
Trandul, yeah. This one is it's a quote I really like. A bit long. And so this is when Beren comes into Menegroth, the first time that he sees Luthien. But wandering in the summer in the woods of Neldoreth, he came upon Luthien, the daughter of Thingol and Melian, at a time of evening under moonrise. That's something weird, okay? As she danced upon the unfading grass in the glades beside Esgalduin. Then all memory of his pain departed from him, and he fell into an enchantment, for Luthien was the most beautiful of the children of Ilúvatar. Blue was her raiment as the uncloaked haven, but her eyes were grey and as the starlight evening. Her mantle was swing with golden flowers, but her hair was dark as the shadows of twilight, as the light upon the leaves of trees, as the voice of clear waters, as the stars above the mist of the world. Such as her such was her glory and her loveliness, and in her face was a shining light. The-
I think she
like
was ugly. Ugly.
she must have been. No, I mean it's just uh, the first time that I read it, I was like frozen for a moment, because
You fell
you
into an
can actually
enchantment.
picture the scene, and Luthien dancing, and it's also kind of this whole thing also reminds me of the encounter between Thingol and Merian. The fact that Thingol also is like he was enchanted by this,
Yes.
so it's as a meta thing, it's really cool, and the way that he narrates this part is just beautiful.
It's lovely.
It's lovely indeed.
Very romantic. And Adriana loves it. She loves that. She believes in love at first
Love
sight.
at first
I
sight.
do love. I do like romance. I just don't like that story.
Why no?
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's too. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like so. Ugh. But
I
I
love this
do
story.
like
It's just
all
so
the
freaking
parts
cool, you know.
that Finn Rod shows in this story. I love it. I have another
Oh,
quote.
we have to talk about Juan also.
Juan.
Oh,
Oh, Juan is
Juan is
amazing.
the best.
Juan.
One,
Juan.
Juan.
Juan. Juan.
one,
Juan. I
one,
don't know how you pronounce it. How you pronounce it?
one,
Now you're saying
Juan.
Silmarillion,
Juan.
and I'm always
Juan,
saying Silmarillion. What is the right pronunciation?
Juan.
Silmaril and Juan.
Ah, Silmarillion.
Like Juan, but Juan,
Juan. Juan.
Juan. You know,
Juan is
no Juan,
I
not
like
Juan.
it because Tolkien gives you a character with a personality, yet he's not human, and
He's
he
a
can
doggy.
speak only 3 times.
It does.
So I love it because it keeps it an animal, but it gives it some flavor,
Magic.
some
Magic.
some
Oh yeah, magic in this story is also amazing, you know, because it's just is. It is what it is. It's magic. No
because that's what
explanation.
love is. It's all magic. and the other wolves, I was looking when they say the werewolves, I'm thinking that they are just huge wolves, but I'm like, werewolves are like man wolves, but maybe I'm mistaken. So I went to the dictionary, and no, they are werewolves are actually werewolves, men, no? The combination of man and wolf. Oh yeah, I didn't like that.
I don't know.
And
This is just
vampires. And
yeah.
you
That's
have
what I was going to say.
vampires.
There's vampires as well in
Yeah,
this.
and vampires, and Sauron turns into different
Actually, I don't
things.
like that story at all. When I read
Oh,
the first time
Sauron turns
vampires, I
into a
was like, "What?"
vampire.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
turns into a vampire and into a werewolf as
yeah,
well.
He turns
yeah,
into a bunch of things.
yeah.
And a snake. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He gets his ass
And
kicked in this
that
story.
was
You know,
part of his power. He had the power of change
I
shape
would
form
shifting.
imagine
Yeah.
multiple
him
times.
as the Dracula from the Van Helsing movie. That's a cool vampire. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh well. Any other remarks about this chapter? Because we are about to go to the next.
I have another one.
The
And
song.
it's
We're gonna see.
You can sing.
okay. Let me paste it. This part is when Finrod, because I love Finrod, it's at
I like
Nargothrond
it.
and tells everyone that he has to go and fulfill his promise and and help Beren. And I love that part. And you can see how good he is and how bad the Fëanor sons are.
Assholes.
And it says, and
Being
Felagund
more
seeing
accurate.
that he was first and Felagund seeing that he was forsaken, took from his head the silver crown of Nargothrond and cast it at his feet, saying, your oaths of faith to me you may break, but I must hold my bond. Yet if there be any on whom the shadow of our curse hath not yet fallen, I should find at least a few to follow me, and should not go hence as a beggar that is thrust from the gates. There were 10 that stood by him, and the chief of them, who was named Edrahil, stopping lift the crown and asked that if that it be given to us that it be given to a steward until Felagund's return. For you remain my king, and theirs, he said, whatever betide. And it didn't copy the last part, but it said, then Felagund gave the crown of Nargothrond to Orodred, his brother, to govern on his stead. And Celegorm and Curufin said nothing, but they smiled and went from the halls.
Assholes.
Yes,
Oh,
they're
the
so
songs of
mean.
Finrod.
Man,
Uh,
there's a
Best
point in this
dudes
story, you know,
ever.
when Lucien is wandering through to the northern borders of Nargothrond, and out of all people, out of the thousands of elves that are living
She
in
found
Nargothrond, she
those.
found fucking Celegord and Curufin.
Yeah, that's what they wanted at that part. That people didn't follow Finrod, and they accomplished it because
I
only
mean,
10 people followed him.
there's also one thing, and that's the fact that the elves of Nargothrond seem to be really stupid. I mean, no one learned anything from the whole thing in Aman. What
But
happened the last time
in the
that
end,
Feanor spoke? Come on, guys.
they condemned Curufin and Celegorm to exile. Even Celebrimbor
They
feels
deserve Turing.
reject
They
against it.
deserve Turing.
And then comes Turing, and the same thing happens again.
Yeah. It was an interesting plan they had to take Luthien and be the absolute kings of everything. Well, yeah, that plan didn't last. It was not gonna happen. I don't think Thingol would have approved either way. Although I think he
No,
approved. He said yes, right?
things would have begun badly. That was probably war between Nargothrond and Doriath.
Yeah. The other Kingslaying.
Another Kingslaying, yeah.
But when we finish, I have another word to say about Luthien. At the end. At the end. No. Yeah, Felagon's a good guy.
Yeah,
And
he's awesome.
he is a friend. He was also the friend of the dwarves.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a nice guy, all around. Just a nice guy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know a little bit about the Lay of Leithian because, as maybe I told you, when I compete in this Tolkien mailing competition that the Hungarian Tolkien Society does, they ask for strange things that I have no idea about. And one of the challenges was to make a picture based on something that was in the Lay of Leithian. And I was like, what? What is that? So like Lay of Leithian, what is it? It's a poem that is basically a book, tells you the whole story. And I was like, what? So I did read that part, and they told you it can be about Finrod, it can be about which part and that part, and I started it. I don't know even if I finished it because I was so embarrassed. And I made my picture of Finrod. I didn't know who it was, but I knew that there was someone fighting Sauron, and there was a dog, and so I kind of drew something. But that is what I like about Tolkien, that even though I had read something, I had no idea what was going to happen here because too many things happen and all the names are the same. So there are no spoilers for me. My memory just doesn't remember any of those. Now I can, and I can recognize Finrod. I have to think Finrod Felagun, and then I kind of know who he is. Okay.
I mean, there's a few names that just stuck with you after you read the Silmarillion, like Beren, Luthien, Finrod, Fingolfin. Those are like the ones that really stay with you.
Fair.
Oh, fan, of course.
But not after just one time because, no. Well, okay. So let's move. What about the next chapter? Nirnaed Arnoedian. After Nirnaed Arnoedian is a name that I had in my mind, that I've had in my mind for 20 years. That is the name I didn't forget about the whole Silmarillion. Nirnaed Arnoedian. But I didn't know what it meant. I thought that it meant, I thought it was the name of Niniel because I named myself Niniel because I'm a crier. And I thought it was near night. It was her name. Near night, I have no idea. So that's all I got from it. The fifth battle. And number tears. It's his name in English, by the way.
Ouch.
one of the best chapters, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Love
I
it.
love this chapter, and it's so painful, you know. This is one that you begin and just like, and you're just like, oh man, it's amazing. I mean,
It
the
is
fact
so
that
it's so sad, even for the Silmarillion. It's
yeah,
horrible.
yeah, exactly. Even for the Silmarillion, this part is really sad, you know, and especially because it, at the beginning it kind of gives you hope, you know, like everyone was have a bit of hope at the beginning that things will go as planned. But yeah, no.
Yeah, it was almost there, but which parts make you sad?
From the beginning
Yeah, till the end.
until the end, every single phrase.
Because well, for me I actually used the map this time to see where where they were coming from, where they
Great
were.
idea.
Okay, I think I get it. Maybe I was more focused on the military strategy. That well, it, I didn't feel it was so sad. Oh my god,
No, it's just
I'm
sad
so
as hell, you
Oh,
know.
shame. Shame on you.
sad.
Shame.
Hi,
I mean,
Gereny.
the military strategy, you know, that's the kind of sad. That's a sad part about that, you know, and that's the fact that the elves really didn't understand the scope of the power of Morgoth because the whole plan was basically a repeat of the third battle, the
But
Dagor Aglev, you know.
how can
It
you
was
go
basically
there if you know that not everybody's gonna go?
first of all, you know, uh, second of all is the fact that they already put up this plan, you know, and the first time it worked because it was kind of a surprise, you know. Morgoth didn't expect it, this. I mean,
Which time?
in the third battle, you know, that's the whole thing, you know. The third battle was basically Morgoth tried to distract the main forces of the elves, and that way kind of overwhelmed them, you know. And he focused the main attack in Dorthonion. That's the central part in the north, you know. So what happens is that both Maedhros and Fingolfin and his forces sally out and fell upon the rear of the forces of Morgoth and basically destroy them all. You know, that's why the battle is called the glorious battle, because they absolutely kick ass, you know. It was this amazing thing. And that's basically what they are trying to do here, you know. The plan was that Maedhros comes from the east, and the what they hoped for was that Morgoth would pull out all of his forces and attack Maedhros, you know. And that's when Fingon and his forces come from the west and fell in the rear, and you know, then basically because they are the Noldor and they are so freaking badass, they just win, you know. Forget about the dragons and the trolls and the Balrogs. They didn't took that into account, you know. But that was the thing. We fell in the rear of these guys, and
But remember
that's
that
it.
the
Yeah, but
victory didn't came from the Balrogs or the dragons
yeah,
or
exactly. Despite of the fact of
it
dragons,
was it
balrogs,
was because
wolves,
of the treason
hundreds
of
of
men.
thousands of orcs, you know, that was the
It
thing.
was a
They fell in the
treason
rear,
of
and
men.
that's it. Yeah. So first problem, Morgoth knows the plan. He has a ton of spies there. Second problem is not the fact that it's not only the fact that he has spies, it's the fact that the eastern host relies a lot in the power of the Easterlings. Um, so he Morgoth basically just has to deal with the Western army, you know, and that's exactly what he does. You know, there's this moment. I have the quote over here. So basically, the plan was Fingon's army had to stay where they were, stay in place, and just when the signal was out, that's when they have to came. But of course, Morgoth sends this distraction, and that's when everybody goes crazy, and this happens.
I like that distraction. I mean,
Yeah.
I
That's
like it because it's connected to the next chapter.
the next chapter, Okay, we're gonna have to read this whole.
Yeah.
With them, aquí está. The by your chance. Okay. First, this part. I think this part is really cool. So with them, they brought Gelmir, son of William, talking when of this destruction of the orcs, that lord of Nargothrond, who had they captured in the Bragolag, and they had blinded him. Then the heralds of Angband showed him forth, crying, "We have many more such at home, but you must make haste if you will find them, for we shall deal with them all with them all when we return, even so." And they hewed off Helmir's hands and feet, and his head last, within the side of Els, and left him. That's that's fucking brutal to begin with. And then
And
and then
look
we
at
have this
you,
one.
Wilder was there looking at that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Bruh.
yeah, yeah. His brother. God damn it.
And the wrath.
By ill chance, at the place of in the outworks stood Windor of Nargothrond, the brother of Gelmir. Now his wrath was kindled to madness, and he leaped forth on horseback, and many riders went with him, and they pursued the heralds and slew them, and drove them on deep into the main host. And seeing this, all the host of the Noldor was set on fire. And this is the moment when things could have gone in a different way. They just had to stay put, getting chill, but no. And seeing this, the host of the Noldor was set on fire, and Fingon put on his white helm, and he sounded his trumpets, and all of the host of Hithlum lit forth from the hills in a sudden onslaught. The light of the drawing of the swords of the Noldor was like a fire in the fields of reeds, and so fell and swift was their onset that almost the design of Morgoth went astray.
Almost.
So in a matter of minutes, Morgoth ruins like 25 years of planning, just like that. He's the better strategist here. He's just the best at making a strategy. That's the thing. The Noldor don't really understand that they are fucked.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to. Yes. Okay. Great. More quotes.
I have one. Let me copy.
Okay.
This is the part when War tells Turgon that he needs to go and protect Gondolin, and he needs to retreat. And it says, but Turgon answered, not long now can Gondolin be hidden, and being discovered it must fall. Then Huor spoke and said, yet if it stand but a little while, then out of your house shall come the hope of elves and men. This I say to you, Lord, with the eyes of death, though we part here forever, and I shall not look on your white walls again, from you and from me a new star shall arise. Farewell. And Maeglin, that traitor, Turgon's sister's son, who stood by, heard these words and did not forget them, but he said nothing.
Damn.
I love that.
Yes, the fact that there is more setup for the stories to come. Damn.
Yeah, and he and
That's
he
very
he
smart.
makes like he says a prediction, that
Yeah, that's
a new
foreshadowing.
star will
A new
arise
sun shall arise from
from
both
their
of us.
two houses.
Who
Exactly, I
is
love that.
Huor? Is he the father of
Tuor,
Tur,
uh, who is cousin
the father
the
of
cousin of Turin.
Turin's cousin?
Yeah, Turin's cousin.
Turin
Ah,
cousin. He's the
I
cool
cannot
one.
get his name.
Remember,
The
Tur
cool
is
one,
the
yeah,
cool
the
one,
blonde one.
the good one, the one who did everything good, and
Yeah,
Turin, the one who did everything bad.
yeah,
Bad, just
bad.
bad.
Not everything. It was everything through the eyes of Morgoth. I know that was
He did
that was
everything
Turin.
bad.
That was no, he
Yeah,
didn't. No, no, he didn't. There are a couple of things that are you can yeah yeah yeah.
Okay. But I like that quote because it sets hope, even though they are being enslaved, you know,
Getting fucked. Getting properly fucked.
even though the horrible things that are happening, Fingon dies, and all of this, there's still hope. And I like that Maeglin
There's
is
still
right
hope.
there, hearing all of that. And oh, I love that. I hate Maeglin.
Yeah, it's kind of poetic, like saying, fuck you.
Yeah, it is
That's
poetic.
like that's like a middle finger.
But he said
Oh,
nothing.
talking
But
about
he said,
Fingon.
what does he mean? But he said nothing. What would he have said?
Who knows? I
Because
mean,
he somehow is telling that their two houses are
will
gonna
unite.
bring some air or they will unite. And he is like, how they will unite because he was so
He
in love with his cousin.
he wanted to say, not if I can.
Exactly.
If I
Not
can.
as long as I'm here.
What was it? There was this verb, blessed.
Yeah, I
Eh,
love the part when it says that uh so short. It says, neither by wolf nor by balrog nor by dragon would Morgoth have achieved his end, but for the treasury of men. I love that. I love that quote because it
mm,
is true.
That is the one I was going to
Oh, I'm sorry.
or not
I mean,
or not or not.
it's true in this
No,
version at
it's
least.
not. It's not. This is what I'm going to share, but it has to do with it. Great is at the end. Great was the triumph for Morgoth, and his design was accomplished in a manner after his own heart. Because I like the when, yeah, for men took the lives of men and betrayed the elder, and fear and hatred were aroused among those that should have been united against him. From that day, the hearts of elves were estranged from men, save only those of the three houses of
The white ones.
the
I mean, it's
I had
true at
that
least
quote too.
in it's true at least in this version that it's pretty clearly stated, that hadn't been for the treason of men, things things would have gone differently. But in the later version of the children of Hurin, it's I mean the in this version, for example, the two armies actually kind of get really close.
yeah.
There's the moment where all the dragons and the balrogs come between them, and then the treason of all of this. In the version of the children of Hurin, Maedros' army just doesn't even come close to Fingon. I mean, Maedros gets beaten even way before Fingon actually begins to march north. He never even made it. And it's not just because of the treason of men, that also plays a part.
But
But
that's
that's
a
the
part
thing.
that is always in almost all versions. So it is important,
Yeah,
even
I
if
I
it's
get it,
not
I
the
get it.
complete reason why they lost.
Yeah, exactly.
It is important.
It is really important, yeah, of course.
But it's
But
not the main one.
what I'm actually getting to is that at the end it seems like Tolkien thought that it was I mean, among of all of the horror of the battle, that sentence that, oh, hadn't been for the treason of men, everything is good. No, because it wasn't. It was important, yeah, but that's the thing. I mean,
We don't say it. It's the Silmarillion that says it.
yeah, it's the Silmarillion that says it's the Holy Silmarillion. But that's the thing. I mean, even probably even if the Easterlings stay true, there was no victory in this battle.
Well,
There was no victory.
we will never know. They will never know.
I mean, no one took into account the dragons. I don't make something, some kind of weapon, like anything that can help you kill a fucking dragon. You're the Noldor, goddammit. And there's the dwarves as well that are also great.
Hey,
Great
and
weapon
what's
makers,
with the dwarves'
Oh,
helmets? What do they
oh,
have in
that
them?
part. Yeah,
Some
the war mask.
anti-dragon thing.
I mean, I think it's just the fact that their armor is really, really, really good. They are also like physically stronger and more resilient.
I was very surprised, really,
Yeah,
to say that
that's
no,
why
they were
they
the ones that really
that resist
helped.
the most the fire of the dragons. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, wow,
and they're also really
new
strong, and
respect for me.
they are armed with these two-handed axes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that
Jonathan,
part is
do you
They
have
epic.
a
Yeah.
push.
quote?
Yeah, actually, it was about the dwarfs.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Put it. The quote is
dwarves
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, let me have. Uh,
I'm gonna send you some art of the dwarves. Check it in the.
mm, there. Last of all, the eastern force that the stand firm were the dwarves of Belegost, and thus they won renown. For the Naugrim, which stood fire more hardly than either elves or men, and it was their custom, moreover, to wear great masks in battle, hideous to look upon, and those stood them in good stead against the dragons. And but for them, Glaurung and his brood would have withered all that was left of the Noldor. But the Naugrim made a circle about him when he assaulted them, and even his mighty armor was not foolproof against the blows of their great axes. And when his large rage Glaurung turned and struck down Asagal, lord of Belegost, and crawled over him, with his last stroke Asagal drove a knife into his belly, and so wounded him that he fled the field, and the beast of Angmar in dismay followed after him. Then the dwarfs raised the body of Asagal and bore it away, and with slow steps they walked behind, singing in deep voices, as it were a funeral poem in their country, and gave no heed more to their. I was reading English.
That's so badass, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, kick
Damn,
asses dwarves.
the dwarves.
Yeah,
yes, and how, yeah, we did it. We helped you. Now one man is down. We are off.
We're off.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the crazy part is like everybody's so scared that no one tells them anything and or even tries to stop
But
them. You know, it's like
stay,
okay,
please. Come on, we can do it with you. Yeah, no, the elves are not gonna do that either.
yeah, that
Yeah,
part.
they pushed the dragon away.
Yeah, they made them
All the
free.
beasts.
Yeah,
Quit. It was like, and it was like, even his mighty armor was not foolproof. I thought it meant the armor of the dwarfs, but no, it was the armor of the dragon.
Of the dragon, yeah, the
Of the
scales.
dragon. Oh wow!
Here it is.
What? How powerful they are!
Yeah,
They were. How strong!
yeah.
Cool.
Strong dwarves.
strong dwarves, you know,
Oh,
and their
Strong
great
dwarves.
axes.
now Grim,
Yeah,
now Grim.
with great action. Yes.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna send you some. This is the best illustration I've seen of
Helmet.
the dwarves of Belegos. That this is my favorite one. Just that you can check it. Okay.
Delivery, papas fritas. Ah, no, this is Andre.
Don't say it. I'm hungry. I have to take my pills.
There you go.
Yeah, I just did some French fries.
I'm eating French fries right now.
Ay, ya me estoy entendiendo hambre. Ricura.
Tasty. Yummy.
I was craving for them yesterday.
So let's move on.
Oh,
Let's
Kylie.
move on. Well, it's not such a long chapter either, no? The near night.
Yeah, it's actually really short.
Yeah, just
And painful.
everybody dies.
Everybody dies. Well,
No,
most of them die.
no, not everybody.
You know
Well,
what's really
Not the Sons of Fëanor.
Yeah, that's what I
Thank
was
you.
going to say. Yeah, that's the really sad part about this, that the Sons of Fëanor survive.
No, not only them. Just, in my Kahoot later, who doesn't die in the near night? I don't know it yet.
Durin, of course.
We will see. We will see. There are so many names that it's impossible. Okay, so that was like after burying Luthien, there is this terrible war. And why didn't they ask Luthien to help them if this chick almost, brought everything down? Well.
She was in love.
Well.
She
True.
was in love.
True. She was probably
Priorities.
pregnant. She was probably pregnant.
Priorities.
Priority.
That's Amazon Galadriel, more
Where's
like
Galadriel?
Luthen.
Yes.
Where
Where's
is Galadriel? In
In
love.
love.
In love as well, yeah.
Where's Galadriel when we all need her?
Making love, not war.
Yep. Well, then we have a story. This one is sad.
Oh,
Durin.
no.
So we've read The Children of Húrin in Spanish. We've read it in English. I've never finished it with you guys.
Oh,
Of
I-
Turin Turamba.
I have finished.
Urin Turamba.
it.
Of
Poor
Turin.
Turing.
for Turing,
Turin.
for whoring.
Poor Hurin, yeah, poor Hurin, because he was actually a decent guy.
Turin.
Poor Mooring, Gooring,
Poor
Pudding,
Turin.
and
Turin got it for free, Turin got it for free. I mean, he was a child. He didn't deserve anything that happened to him.
Yeah,
but his childhood wasn't that bad.
I mean, it was kind of bad.
It was horrible.
Kinda.
I
His
mean,
sister died. His only joy.
it's not his fault.
But here we don't learn about that.
It
Because we
only
only
says
learned
that
that he
his
lost
sister
his
dies.
sister,
Yeah,
but
you're
we
right.
don't see that.
I didn't read that chapter.
Lamentation.
I honest.
Yeah, yes.
No,
I
but
didn't read it.
yeah, that part in
No.
the Children of Hurin, damn,
No.
that's
Yeah.
fucking
Turamba.
abusive, when Morwen just tells him because your sister died and Joyce has died in this house.
Never say her
Fuck.
name again. Like,
Man.
it's just a no. This story is much shorter, and in this story, his childhood is not that bad. He loses his dad. Well, he had a sister. He lost her, but quickly, he's sent to Doriath, and there he's treated like an elf. So here, the childhood is not so terrible. Now, when we read Nairgenhuring, then you can read that this wasn't like that. But wow, it's sad. But I do say there are good moments. Why? Because there's friendship. I find it interesting, and it is interestingly also this friendship. What makes a tragedy is the love that makes a tragedy. Because if you're alone, you're an outcast, whatever, you don't care about anything. But if you have a friend, it hurts you when he dies and you kill him. When you have a love,
You killed him. He didn't die. He didn't just die.
when you have a lover, it hurts you. It was your sister. It hurts you that you didn't care for the girl that you may have, that you took away from the other guy. That
Rail,
helped
Oh, that's
you.
man, that's such a good
rail
move.
because of
like
you
Turin.
and your stubbornness.
Your stubbornness, your sheer stupidity, your pride.
We're talking about
Nargothrond, the breach.
oh yeah.
Oh, Turin in
I was
Nargothrond
thinking about
Lily.
Findulia. What is the
Finduila.
Finduila.
Life.
What is with her name? And I was like, I've read this name somewhere else, This is
She
someone's
is the mother
mother.
of Denethor the
Someone's
second.
mother.
Yeah,
Ah,
her wife,
I see.
The wife.
knew
her
I
wife.
Sorry,
had
Yeah,
read
the
it.
mother of
the
Faramir
mother
and
of Boromir and Faramir.
Boromir.
Yeah.
I knew it. Right. Oh, well, that's another sad story.
There's a part, I mean, in this tale that I love, and there's is this moment, you know.
Okay.
Turin in Nargothrond is he's just such a fucking dick, you know. He's way over his head, you
Yeah, what
know.
happened?
He's basically so what happens is that when Turin arrives to Nargothrond, he becomes, you know, like this famous captain, you know. And even after Windor reveals
I
his
won't.
true name, you know, and everybody's like, oh shit, that Hurin guy is cursed.
Do you like
He
the part
becomes
where he says like,
even
"Hey,
more popular, you know.
why do you give away my name? Why it's not your name? It's you. That
It's
Yeah,
is
you.
you.
exactly.
Get
Then
out
your
of
name is you fucking idiot. So, you know, he reveals his true name and he becomes even more famous. So he's basically the real power behind the throne of Nargothrond, you know. So he basically does as he pleases, and the decisions that he takes are really fucking stupid. Like the whole thing with the bridge over the Narog. That's
It
a bad
wasn't
call.
stupid at first, but it was stupid not to tear it down when he had to.
Yeah, so it was stupid to build it in the first place. It
both
was stupid not
both
to destroy it
ideas were awful.
when the messengers of Ulmo came and told them like, guys, like the whole thing with Nargothrond is the secret, you know. That's how you survive. And Turin is like, nah.
Well, because
So
he was very powerful, right? Because everywhere he was defending everybody.
yeah, and that's the thing
Was like
with
the
Turin, you
captain
know,
of
is the fact
everything.
that
The
he's really
helmet.
imposing figure, you know. He's just this huge man, this amazing warrior. He's actually um, a charismatic leader, you know.
Yes.
When he's not being a dick, he's actually
This is
kind
what
of
I
a
said.
charismatic guy. Uh-huh.
He's loved.
He's
That's what
loved.
is interesting.
Yeah,
He's
people
loved,
love him, you know.
and he carries this death to
I mean,
everyone who
yeah,
loves
it's
him.
that's perhaps the
The
saddest part
curse.
about the course, you know, is the fact that Turing had a lot of potential. I mean, he was raised by an elven king, and you know, he looks like an elf truly, but
And also, when he's described like Luthien.
yeah,
Fair
tall,
skin, black
pale,
hair,
dark
gray
hair,
eyes.
gray eyes, indeed. So okay, so there's the whole
Like
thing with
mine.
Nargothrond, no, and they ride to battle and they get properly destroyed, and then Glauron comes leading the orc army to loot the city, and this happened.
Uh-huh.
So basically, okay, Glauron spoke again, taunting Turin, and he said, "Evil have been all thy way, son of Hurin, thankless fosterling, outlaw, slayer of thy friend, thief of love, usurper of Nargothrond." It's so reality this part, you know. And I'm gonna explain why this part is so cool. Captain foolhardy and deserter of thy king, as trolls thy mother and thy sister live in Dorlomin, in misery and want. Thou art arrayed as a prince, but they go in rags, and for thee they yearn, but thou carest not for that. Glad may thy father be to learn that he had such son, as learn he shall. And Turing, being under the spell of Glaurung, hearkened to his words, and he saw himself as in a mirror misshapen by malice, and loathed that which he saw. Damn, I mean, first of all, Glaurung is such a good villain. I mean, he's a vile dragon, you
To
know.
be a
He's such
good
really,
villain. It's a bad villain.
I mean, he's such an amazing villain in that regard, you know. Like
Yeah.
he's so evil. He's evil as you can get. And what I love about this part is that Glaurung mixes enough truth with his lies that makes Turin actually believe it, you know. Because this first part, the first part, thankless fosterling, Aulon, Slayer of the Flame, Seed of Love, usurper of Nargothrond, Captain Fulcardi, all of that is true. That's plainly true. That the dragon is actually spitting facts. He calls out Turing for his bullshit in this part. Then is when the misleading actually comes. He talks about his mother and her sister, and that's life. But then the part that I really love is the last one. And Turing, being under the spell of Glauron, hearkened to his words, and he saw himself as in a mirror misshapen by malice, and loathed that which he saw. I mean, that's the thing with Turing. We like his mental state at this point just goes for a severe decline. And the fact that when when he sees himself in the eyes of the dragon, he's disgusted with his own image. And that's because that again the first part of the dragon said is actually true. And I think at that moment he really realized that his stubbornness led to the destruction of all of these people. All of the warriors are dead, and now the women and children are taken. The place is being sacked, and he's just standing there. He's the responsible for this. Damn.
Yeah, but it's not the whole story. It's not the whole story. And that's what he wants him to see. What he shows to his father, certainly, to make him suffer as well.
Yeah. And that's because Turing has been living with the thought of his father. At this point, I think he actually knows that Hurin is still alive, or well, there's at least the rumor that Hurin is still alive. And he has all of that pressure over his shoulders as well. Damn, that's the wonderful part about the children of Hurin, is that it's not as as black and white as the other stories. You actually are meant to be thinking about the decision of the character. What is actually his responsibility, what is actually the part that the course comes. Damn.
In this one, the devil wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so sad. Yeah, there's no happy ending here.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the saddest part about these last 100 years of the first age. I mean, Morgoth destroys, like, okay, like Nargothrond, and no, the is Doriath, and later the Havens of Sirion, without even moving a finger. I mean, at this point, his malice is so present in both elves, in men, that the fall of Doriath he doesn't even have to do anything.
He has been working for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
With his malice. Now you see what, and you are mean too. Now what will Adriana say if this is exactly what she wanted to
What
say?
she was going to say.
He contributed to the fall of Doriath.
As well, the thing with the Naula
You're not gonna say anything else, Adri. You don't even want to talk. Just writing it.
I'm sad. He stole my quote. That was my only quote.
Stealing of quotes.
That's my favorite part. I don't have any other. I'm not that into that story as all people do. I don't like that much story.
Yeah, me neither. It's too much. It's very detailed. Too many things happen.
But it is a great story, actually. But it's not my type of story.
The main part is so weird.
We need some heroism. There's not.
And the freaking sword, the black sword.
Even the sword is kind of mean in this story. Yeah.
But the sword is it's interesting. I'm never interested in any weapons, but this sword has a wheel also, kind of like the ring, right?
Yeah.
but it wasn't mean either. And I like the sword's last words. But talking about the sword, I never talk about the rings of power because I don't want to know. I don't know as much as you guys do, so I don't want to know anything. I know, Javier, you hate it, but
Yeah,
I haven't even watched the trailer.
with the
I just
meteor man.
I just don't want to know, but I just want to see it and try to enjoy it. But I know there's something coming out from space, and I know that this sword is made of something that came from space, right? It's a special sword that
Yeah.
I I think it might have to do something with it. I find it interesting how the sword came to be, and it's sad how it affects Belek when it wasn't his tragedy.
Yeah.
Right? But because he was being like awarded, well, I choose a sword. I want this one, and it's like, okay, that sword is not a good one. So why?
No one listens to Melian.
No, she's not.
Why in the world no one is listening to Melian, you know? Like, dude, that sword is kind of weird, you know? If I were
Yeah,
you, I
but
wouldn't
but
take it.
Melian
Nah, it's
doesn't.
fine.
Yeah, but Melian, she's not like she speaks that clear. She speaks all Elvish, like
No, I
there
mean,
is a menace.
if elves are
Oh
kind of
no.
cryptic, Melian is just another level.
Yeah, but she should have made her status,
Make her quotes a
make
bit
her
more
point.
clear.
Yes, because she's
Yeah.
always single. Maybe we shouldn't do this. No,
I see
you're the queen.
darkness.
Yeah,
Oh
she should
well.
be like, dude, don't your fucking things up. Don't do it.
Exactly. You're the queen. And you're bigger than this diva guy.
Well, and
She likes
so
the guy. What can we do?
talking of, I think that of all of the tragedies, that is tragedy after tragedy. One of the ones that struck me the most was Peleg dying. Um,
Oh, it's so sad.
I didn't pick
Because
that because I thought
Belek is such a
everyone
cool
was gonna
guy.
pick that.
you want me to read it?
Yeah.
I will read it. I was going
That's
to read what
fine.
happens after it, but I'm going to read that part. Uh, so, oh, for the sake of Adriana. I, oops, July the 20th. Okay, here. And I also like the part of the lembas. It's very
Oh,
interesting.
Lembas. Yeah, yeah. Lembas are a thing in
That
this
it's not
story.
just
Yeah.
I here's some bread we have and you have it. No, 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 no. It is. Ay, ay, ay. Well, so it happened that Peleg found Windor, that what had been one of the only ones that had escaped also from the battle, from the Nirnaeth, and and they went to save Beren. I was going to say to who are we talking about? Húrin, Túrin,
Turin.
Túrin. Okay, here. So they saved him. Oh, somebody's here. Oh, Andrea. Hey, Andrea. There she is. Jesus Christ. Hi, Andrea. Ah,
¿Cómo serán?
bien, bien enfermo, pero bien.
Se acabó la otra reunión, Andrés.
¿Eh?
Se acabó la otra reunión.
Estaban dando algo de salir a correr.
Mm.
Okay, here we go.
Poor Turing.
It is not complete. Okay. We're reading from Turing Turambar. When all in the camp were sleeping, Belek took his bow, and in the darkness shot the wolf sentinels one by one and silently. Then in great peril they entered in, and they found Turing, fettered hand and foot and tied to a withered tree. And all about him knives had been cast at him. Knives that had been cast at him were embedded in the trunk, and he was senseless in a sleep of great weariness. But Belek and Window cut the bonds that held him, and lifting him, they carried him out of the dell. Yet they could bear him no farther than to a thicket of thorn trees a little way above. There they laid him down, and now the storm drew very near. Belek drew his sword, Anglachel, and with it he cut the fetters that bound Turin. But fate was that day more strong, for the blade slipped as he cut the shackles, and Turin's foot was pricked. Then he was aroused into a sudden wakefulness of rage and fear, and seeing one bending over him with naked blade, he leaped up with a great cry, believing that the orcs were coming again to torment him. And grappling with him in the darkness, he seized Anglachel and slew Belich Gutalion, thinking him a foe. But as he stood, finding himself free and ready to sell his life dearly against imagined foes, there came a great flash of lightning above them, and in its light he looked down on Belek's face. Then Turin stood stone still and silent, staring on that dreadful death, knowing what he had done, and so terrible was his face, lit by the lightning that flickered all about them, that Window cowered down upon the ground and dared not raise his eye. He killed his dear friend.
Yeah, I mean, we can only blame Belek for choosing to be the friend of Turing.
However, the 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 quote I had chosen was this: "What happens after all of this?" And they bury him. Thus ended Belek, Strombo, truest of friends, greatest in skill, of all that harbored in the woods of Beleriand in the elder days, at the hand of him whom he most loved. And that grief was graven on the face of Turin and never faded. This I liked so much. But courage and strength were renewed in the elf of Nargothrond, and departing from that, well, that is, we don't know. And he had another truest of friends of bad dudes. Yeah, but and even then he lost a friend, but he already had a new friend who he was going to take his girl from. Not
Poor
a
Belek.
not
Poor
a,
Belek.
no. Poor Belek. Belek was really cool. Belek.
The only thing that he did bad in life was befriend Turing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, to choose the
I'm
sword.
glad.
The
I'm
sword.
glad.
And
No, it wasn't the sword. It was Turing.
well, we no, I say both. Both of them.
Maybe both, but Turing was there.
Both, yeah.
It was probably Turing.
Yeah, but mainly Turing.
Basically, yeah. It wasn't
Exactly.
that, it was going to be something else. More quotes. Jonathan, same quote.
Let me check.
Jeremy, do you have a quote? I think you don't, but I I was going to say I know you don't, but
Yeah,
I'll
I
give
want
you the
to
benefit
talk
of the doubt.
about the
Right.
sword Belek as well. So it's like the same that you have. Yeah.
No, don't say that.
Stealers of quotes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but I can see another one.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Which,
very long chapter too.
yeah.
Everything happened to Turi. Turi.
The death of Niniel. That's horrible.
Oh, well, Ninia, but they said that she was with child.
Yes.
Yes. Man, this the end of that story is so fucking horrifying.
He's the worst. Seriously. It goes from terrible to worse.
When
It's
you're
like
believing that things can get even worse,
even worse. No, they
they
can.
are worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Way worse.
That guy never used his smiling muscles. Never.
But he did when for a while
When he was in Brazil, maybe.
and with his sister.
When he was in love with his sister. Making little brothers / cousins.
Slash cost. I got no.
Little vampires, little vampires. I find it interesting that the name that he gives her is similar to her actual name.
Yeah.
It is.
That was my name.
He calls her Niniel, right?
Niniel, and she is.
Yeah, and her name is Nienor.
Nienor.
Nienor Niniel.
Nienor.
Oh, and I told my friend that was my name. I chose the name. My friend looked at me like, what? Isn't that the name of the girl that was with her brother? And I was like,
Exactly.
okay, I'm gonna change it. Okay.
Maybe you can be called Nienor.
It was because of the name, not because of the story.
Or you can be called Nirna. I have no idea.
Or I can just go to Niena, you know.
Oh, Niena.
Oh, Niena. She's always crying. Makes a lot of sense.
All with tears. All with tears.
So
I think
there's
we're
no more
waiting for
quotes?
Jonathan, aren't we?
No, I didn't found another quote to read. Let's continue with the ruin of Dorian.
Oh, I have a quote.
I'm gonna start because I don't want my quote to be stolen again.
Okay, yeah. Because
Okay.
Jonathan, start with the quotes.
Or Jonathan start
Oh,
with the
okay.
quote. And then I'll go.
Okay.
No, you go, Adria. I'll go second, okay?
Okay. Let me copy that. My favorite part of this chapter is when Diva dies because of his pride.
Who?
Diva.
Ah, Diva.
Let me copy.
Pero quédate, Andre.
And the next one is this. Okay, it says. Well, he had the dwarves working for him at his fortress in Menegroth, and he was alone with them. And it says, then Thingol, being alone among them, made to take it up and clasp it about his neck, the Nauglamir. But the dwarves in that moment withheld it from him and demanded that he yield it up to them, saying, by what right does the Elven King lay claim to the Nauglamir that was made by our fathers for Finrod Felagund, who is dead? It has come to him but by the hand of Húrin, the man of Dorlomin, who took it as a thief out of the darkness of Nargothrond. But Thingol perceived their hearts, and so well that desire and the Silmaril they sought but a pretext, and fair cloak for their true intent. And in his wrath and pride he gave no heed to his burial, but spoke to them in scorn, saying, how do you often quote, race, dare to demand out of me, Elu-Thingol, Lord of Beleriand, whose life began by the waters of Cuivienen, years uncounted ere the fathers of the stone people awoke? And standing tall and proud among them, he bade them with shameful words begone unrequited out of Doria. Then the lust of the dwarfs was kindled to rage by the words of the king, and they rose up above him and laid hands on him and slew him as he stood. So died in the deep places of Menegroth, Elwë Singoyu, king of Doria, who alone of all the children of Ilúvatar was joined with one of the Ainur, and he who alone of the Forsaken Elves had seen the light of the trees of Valinor, with his last sight gazed upon the Silmaril.
I like the fact
He
that,
died as an idiot.
yeah. I mean, other than that, I like the fact that the last thing that he sees in this version is the Silmaril. It's
What?
like,
What did you
oh,
say?
God damn it.
In this version.
Yeah, in this version, the last things that he sees is the light
Is
of
the
the Silmaril.
Silmaril? Yes.
Yeah, that's really poetic.
Yeah, it is important. He was possessed by it.
Yeah.
He made a lot of bad choices because of the Silmaril, because he was possessed by that
There's
curse that was
also,
over the Silmaril, because the War of the Jewels is all because of those stones.
indeed. There's also another thing that adds something a bit more tragic to this is that Menegroth was built by both the elves of the Sindar of Doria and the dwarves of the Blue
The
Mountain.
dwarves.
Yeah,
Yes.
and now the dwarves are just here sacking the living crap about the place and killing the king. It's bad. And it will go to sour relationships between elves and dwarves forever.
Exactly. That from that came a
I
great.
confuse Menegroth and Nargothrond, but they both had caves.
They're all fortresses, so they all have gates.
So the dwarves also help here in Doriath.
No, Doria. Yes, they help.
Yes, they help making Doria.
But it wasn't like a friendship, right? With in
yeah, it's not like, for example, saying Eregion and Khazad-dûm in the Second Age. You know, it was more like a thing of convenience. You know, everybody was with that. The dwarves were well paid with pearls and with knowledge from Melian, and the elves and Thingol had his home. You know.
Yeah, they had agreements and they were well paid. It always says that. It was convenient for both parts.
It was
naive.
Well, maybe it was because of he was blind with the Silmaril, but to give it to, to allow dwarves that are so greedy to just touch it, not to see it, it was
bad idea.
Another bad choice.
Yeah, they had their eyes held on the Silmaril, for sure. And the Nauglamir, but most part of the Silmaril. And the two things combined were like the biggest jewel ever. The greatest.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of the what is the name of the Glowring? No, Glowring
Nauglamir.
is the dragon.
Now,
Oh, the dragon.
Nauglamir. The Nauglamir sounds
the
like
necklace.
a chunk, huge necklace that is like an armor. It doesn't sound beautiful to me. I like delicate things.
Oh, but then Lucian put it on, and it was the most beautiful creature ever.
It
I would
was
have liked to see
actually
a version of it that actually, looks appealing to me, to my eyes, to my sight. Because I
and
imagine like huge things or like blue,
Had
like a dwarf.
a
Like,
lot of
dwarf is, no, it's not something I would
gems.
appreciate.
yeah.
But Adriana and I were talking about this before you guys entered, and I was saying that how plain and simple thing goals that is, and they slay them, and that was the end.
Yes.
Just like in a cave. No,
I have another quote for this
no, no,
arc.
no, no, no. First, Jana.
Oh, Jonathan, yeah, yeah.
And Jonathan was saying, no, no, you go.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Yeah, mine is about after they slay the dwarves in Doria, the basically that the dwarves from Novgorod ask for help to the dwarves of Belecost. I'll copy the paragraph.
You're
Wait a
into
minute.
dwarves today.
Wait a minute. Then great was the wrath and lamentation of the dwarves of Novgorod for the death of their king and their great craftsmen. And they tore their beards and wailed, and long they sat taking thought for vengeance. It is told that they asked aid from Belegost, but it was denied them, and the dwarves of Belegost sought to dissuade them from their purpose, but their counsel was unavailing. And ere long a great host came forth from Novgorod, and crossing over Helion, marched westward through Beleriand. Yeah, that I chose it because of diplomatics, basically.
I didn't get that. I thought the dwarves were going to, oh yeah, let's go kill them.
In almost all the older versions,
Yeah,
it is both clans of dwarves that come to Menegroth, but in the final one, it's just the Novgorod ones.
The which
Yeah.
one?
Belegos,
The Nord.
Belegos seems to be a bit more chill in that regard because they also went to the Nirnaed as well, right?
elf friendly.
Yeah, elf friendly,
No,
exactly.
like you're pet friendly. They were elf friendly.
Elf friendly, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's because they didn't see the Silmaril or didn't see the Nauglamir. Maybe if they
Probably.
had started, maybe
Also,
things would have turned out different.
they were different because they are also they also described before as fighting even among their own king, which didn't
Yeah.
happen among elves. Didn't happen.
Except for that occasion.
Except so yeah, maybe they was. How about Meme the Petty Dwarf?
Ugh. Makes me want to puke. Nobody wanted him, not even the dwarves of Nogrod or Belegos.
Nobody liked the petty dwarves. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's actually you feel pity for them to their
For a
pets.
while.
Yeah, it's like, well, they're gonna help. I didn't understand why they would need some place to be, but okay then. But he just doesn't care about anybody. That's it.
Can I give my quote? No.
No.
No. Okay.
Yes.
No, ya nada, ya no quiero.
No, yeah.
Ya nothing. Okay, so this is my quote, and this is before the fall of Doria event. is like the end of the tale of the children of Húrin.
It's gonna be my quote.
No, really?
He is
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
he's a thief.
I mean, it's bad luck, I guess. Okay, so this is the thing. Gray she was an old, referring to Morwen when Húrin finds her. But suddenly her eyes looked into his, and he knew her. For though they were wild and full of fear, the light still gleamed in them that long ago had earned for her the name Elethwen, proudest and most beautiful of the women of in the days of old. You come at last, she said. I had waited too long. It was a dark road. I have come as I could, he answered. But you are too late, said Morwen. They are lost. I know it, he said. But you are not. But Morwen said, almost. I am spent. I shall go with the sun. Now little time is left. If you know, tell me, how did she find him? But Húrin did not answer, and they sat beside those stones and did not speak again. And when the sun went down, Morwen sighed and clasped his hand and was still. And Húrin knew that she died.
Mm,
Damn, that's so sad.
yet
That's
it's kind of like
really,
a happy ending to the previous story.
it's kind of happy, but damn, it's also really sad. It's really, really sad.
Yeah, it's a closure. Well, we need closure.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
there is a version where uh Húrin and it is Húrin and Morwen that become Valar.
What?
Yes. Maybe I'm
Really?
mistaken, and there are Beren and Luthien, but I think it's
Perhaps it's Beren and Luthien, yeah. But
Where did you read that?
Head canon.
headcanon, yes. Headcanon.
history of the Middle Earth.
What?
I mean, there's some really weird shit in those books, so it could
They
be.
dwelled in the forest looking for their children. Yeah, they are there. Yes, they're Húrin and Morwen that become Valar. They purify his sins and I don't know what, and then they become Valar.
What
Wow.
things I wonder? I mean, they weren't like, I mean, they were like dumb, like Morwen, bad decisions, but Húrin, it was like he just mocked.
He casually mocked Morgoth.
Morgoth.
Yeah, he only
Yeah.
mocked Morgoth. Yeah,
But it wasn't just because of that that he died. He hated him. It says it's because he was the friend of, I don't know, the son of whoever, and he hated those people. And well, uh, so in the end, he suffered because he was proud.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's not a sin that.
That's actually quite of a big theme in Tolkien, when being proud actually makes you kind of bit of kind no not just a bit, makes you stupid,
No,
really freaking stupid sometimes being
makes you
proud
doomed to die in a catastrophic way.
in a horrible way. And
Yes.
it's curious because
Mm.
it's kind of like a trait of the men of the House of Hador. They are described as the proudest of the houses of the line. And later on, the descendants of the House of Hador in Númenor are the ones who become proud and want and desire more power and all of these. The ones that become the king's men and the Black Númenóreans later are descendants from the House of Hador, the proudest of the line. So yeah, that whole thing with being proud, yeah, kind of a bad thing.
Yeah, it's makes you like how would you say, like corrompible.
Easily corrupted.
Yeah, in fact, the browner you are, the easily you corrupt.
Yeah, it's Hildur as well, kind of like he's like this proud king. He's actually a good man, but he's like a proud high king of the Dunedain in Middle Earth, and then all the stuff with the ring happens. He's also fall victims of his pride. Same with Boromir. There's a reason why no one else is like um haunted by the ring as much as Boromir is. And I think a bit part of it is because he's proud. He's a proud man, he's proud of his nation, a proud nationalist. He's the perfect prey for the ring.
And then Húrin is released. So he goes and kills Mim, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because Belek told him, like, the Avengers will come or something like that. I mean, paraphrasing. And, thank you, Jerry. And he takes the now that thing.
Now Glamir, yeah.
Now Glamir to Thingol, but in mockery again.
Yeah.
Because he has seen only the terrible parts of his children, which are not the best. And he gives Nauglari that thing. But then Melian clears his eye. And this is my quote. And so after this, he gives it now Glarmir, whatever, but like, here it is. Thank you for taking care of my child, being very ironic. And Melian talks to him and makes him see. So I'm hearing the words of Melian, Húrin stood moveless, and he gazed long into the eyes of the queen, and there in Menegroth, defended still by the girdle of Melian from the darkness of the enemy, he read the truth of all that was done, and tasted at last the fullness of woe that was measured for him by Morgoth Bauglir. And he spoke no more of what was past, but stooping lifted up the Nauglamir from where it lay before Thingol's chair, and he gave it to him, saying, receive now, Lord, the necklace of the doors, as a gift from one who has nothing, and as a memorial of Húrin, of Dordomin. For now my fate is fulfilled, and the purpose of Morgoth achieved, but I am his thrall no longer. So what was the purpose of Morgoth by releasing him? Well, he achieved that he knew
Chaos.
what Gondolin was.
Yeah, tormented him.
So the thing is that, yeah, first
He
of all,
didn't.
is the Adri, go on.
No, I was gonna say that he did that with all his prisoners. He suddenly released them but they belonged to them in certain way because they were so tormented that is their lives were gonna be miserable, and
Yeah,
they were
the
gonna
thing is
cause
that
misery in others.
exactly, and they perhaps they are not even aware of it. The fact that they are doing Margot's beating at the end. So
Exactly.
when Húrin goes out and cries for Turgon, he inadvertently gives Morgoth the rough location of Gondolin.
Yeah.
It's not mentioned here, but he also goes to Brethil, and he causes so much shedding there. It's crazy. He
He
arrives in the middle of
screams.
a civil conflict between the last remaining of the House of Haleth.
Oh.
Um, he makes the guys fight. At the end of the day, the both of the claimants are dead. Brazil goes to shed like that. All the powerful nobles are killing each other, and all of that happens when Húrin arrives, and then the whole thing with the Nauglamir, even if at the end Húrin gives the jewel to Thingol in truly like it's he's actually, it's a truly sign of gratefulness, like he's thankful to Single. But the color, the Nauglamir is stole from the treasure of Glaurung, so it's also kind of cursed. And Single has the Silmaril, so he inadvertently causes the fall of three kingdoms almost.
Exactly.
The
Yes.
tragic part is that Húrin ends up killing himself. He throws himself to the sea. He should have done that as soon as Morgoth released him.
He should have him kill himself earlier, you're
Yeah,
saying.
At
I
some
mean,
point,
a lot of things might have been different if he just did
Throw
that
yourself
when Morgoth
and
released.
at some point, Húrin, after being released, he goes to the mountains near Gondolin and screams to Turgon,
Yeah,
yes.
"Where are
Turgon.
you?" I don't know what he
Remember the
screams to
friend of
him.
Serek.
Exactly. And at that point, Morgoth knows where is Gondolin. Not exactly, but where to look.
The
Yep.
rough location, yeah.
Yes.
That's
So,
why Maeglin is later cut, because there's already lots of spies around the city.
Exactly.
so
Thank you,
So,
Húrin.
basically Gondolin, Brethil, and Doriath, Húrin has a part on the fall of three kingdoms.
yes, and then I always remember you guys, Javier, talking about Dior and Dori. No, Dior? No, about the kingdom of Doriath.
Yeah,
Doriath? Or well, all the names mix up in my head. And I was like, oh, Doriath. I heard Javier talking about this. And then there is Beren and Luthia's son, and oh well, he's maybe the next story is he's gonna appear there in Doriath, and no, no, Doriath, it's not going to happen. Forget it. They shut it down completely.
But Dior went there after.
I mean, Doriath,
Yeah, but after Dior went, it went.
No, yeah, it was
yeah, I
lost
mean,
after
exactly,
Dior.
Yeah,
beaten,
I thought
kind
it
of
was gonna
beaten
be
by
like
the
a
Northern
new
invasion.
Dior era with Dior there, but no, that lasted like two paragraphs.
Yeah, it
So
lasted like 3 years, yeah. It's kind of sad, because I mean, beaten and broken, well, beaten more than broken. Doriath survives the Dwarven invasion, and then Dior comes, and he has the Silmaril, and apparently he wearing the Silmaril is the prettiest guy alive, apparently.
And the rightful king of Doria.
And then the Sons of
Lua,
Feanor come. He's the rightful king of Doriath, yeah.
Lua,
but and here what
So
I was
basically,
going
he
to
takes the
say about
throne,
Beren
and
and Luthien. So in the end, nobody took the Silmaril. Nobody thought of taking the Silmaril from Luthien because she was beautiful and powerful, and everybody feared her.
Lúthien.
But
But
to Dior, they went after the Silmaril when Dior had it.
yeah, but why didn't she throw it away, cast it into the fire, or give it back to the Feanors? She kept it, like her dad.
I think it's because, I
So,
mean, first of all, there's the whole thing with the Silmaril being kind of like, it makes you possessive, when you have the
but
Silmaril.
it's
First of
Luthien.
all,
She's
second of all,
perfect.
She's
yeah, I
not
know,
perfect.
but this is the thing.
She's part
They
Eldar.
Beren lost his hand. I mean, Beren lost his hands taking that Silmaril. Finrod died helping them taking that Silmaril.
Even Luthien.
So, and the Silmaril itself is such an important artifact that for I mean, they came back from the dead, you know, just because of that Silmaril. So for them, it's actually really, really important. And the fact that they went through a lot to gain that, I think both Beren and Luthien believe that it was rightfully theirs. You know, forget
Yeah,
about
I thought
Fëanor
of
and his
that.
son.
You know that
Fëanor
there's a
make it, but
version.
after all, they were the ones who actually took that freaking Silmaril from the crown of Morgoth.
And
So
they're
so for
skippers.
all of that, I think they think that they thought that it was theirs by right. It was theirs by right.
There's a version
So you
where,
know when they die, it should pass as an heirloom to their line.
Wait, there's a version.
yes, I was gonna say that there's a version where Melian goes to see Luthien and Beren before coming back to Valinor.
Uh-huh.
And she's the one that tells Beren to throw away the Silmaril because it is cursed and all of that. And at first he says that he's gonna throw it away, but he doesn't because you know what does the Silmaril to everyone. And he kept it for himself, and then he gives it to Luthien. And it is said that that's the reason why she died before time, because she was carrying the Silmaril.
It was it she was so beautiful with that Silmaril that it was kind of too much for Middle Earth.
And beauty is more
Yeah, in
important
beauty,
than safety.
that beauty was just too much for Middle Earth,
Much that we can take.
literally.
Yeah, this is too much. Die.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of no, it's not kind of. It's really horrible what happens to singles and great grandchildren, the sons of Dior.
Yeah.
Damn, I mean those
Oh
there
yeah,
were children at that point, you know, when the sons of
but
Fëanor attacked them.
Myros repented.
Yeah,
I
but
like him.
those children die, you know. They
No,
still
we don't
Yeah.
know.
in the
We don't
forest.
know what happened to them.
Yeah.
They
No, they
die.
starve to death. It's they
Yeah,
most
they die.
likely, you know,
Oh,
they die.
poor
They
children.
all died
Yeah.
but Elwin.
Who says that the elves can't be evil?
Who? Who them? No, elves are perfect.
Yeah, you know, that's actually an evil deed.
Okay
And yet
then.
again, you know, they kill a lot of people for nothing. At the end of the day, Ewing managed to escape with a lot of the people of Doriath, and she keeps the Silmaril. And then again, they attack the havens of Sirion, and freaking Elwing says, you know what? Screw you guys, I'm gonna kill myself with this. Forget it. You're not gonna get in this thing.
She's the only one that did something right with the Silmaril in one of the
Yeah.
versions.
Yeah. So
She drowns herself with the Silmaril.
yeah.
There's a part where when Beren takes it and it's like he drowns it and puts it in the city on water. So I'm like, oh great, they're gonna put it into the river. But then he puts it on to Luthien. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't read the
Yeah,
part.
he couldn't get rid of it. He couldn't. He just couldn't.
He just
Oh,
couldn't, yeah.
wow.
It was so beautiful. So beautiful,
And now
beautiful.
there are only 2 chapters left from the Silmarillion, and then
A
you know,
calaver.
uh-huh. And finally of the Rings of Power and the Third Age.
Of the rings
But
of
but
power.
but you did these meetings just to discuss the Quenta Silmarillion,
No,
right?
no, of
Are
course
we
not.
gonna read the Akalabeth too?
Of course, yes. We
Oh,
we
okay.
have one more meeting in which we discuss the last 2 chapters of the Cuenta and the Akalabeth and the Rings of Power. That will
Okay.
be the last
Okay.
meeting on August the 25th, just a week before the Rings of Power.
Okay.
Thank you for accompanying my journey through reading the Silmarillion. Yay!
No, don't worry,
Play.
Gerald. It was actually
Now,
really cool.
are you ready for the Kahoot?
Not really. I
No,
didn't
because
read any of the chapters.
I'm actually getting tired and I have to go on to it. So
Oh, well,
goodbye for my part.
great.
Goodbye, people.
Bye, Javi.
Oh, that was great,
Em,
Javi. Thank you.
hay que ver ese PDF, ¿cierto, Adri? El del sábado, el de los pueblos de la Tierra Media.
Sí, sí. Dale.
Cierto, cierto, ahorita que me acuerdo. Creo que me toca moderar a mí el sábado. Bueno, ahí vemos, ahí vemos.
Ahí vemos.
Ya,
We'll
pilas, pilas,
see.
nos vemos.
It was
Gentecita.
a longer conversation than usual.
Yeah,
Normally
it's actually quite
starting a
late.
bit
Goodbye,
early.
goodbye, guys.
Because you pick one day for the most long
Yeah, why did you do that?
chapter
Yeah,
ever.
Beren and
and
Lucien
you
and
read
Irene
and brought your
was really long.
quotes.
Beren and Lucian should have been just 1 week.
Yeah, I know. Well, are you gonna play
And so to
or should we leave it for another day?
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay.
What's the number of the Kahoot?
1074631.
Okay. Mhm.
Thank you, Jeremy. Ah, no. Bingo. All right, let's do it. Oh, Francisco is here. Should I stop it? Why do they do this to me? How do I end it? Francisco, are you gonna play?
You already started.
Yeah, but we can restart it because it's the first question. Say it.
I don't know because I'm on the cell phone.
3, 2, 1. Make a decision.
Okay, I'm entering.
Okay, I'm gonna end this.
Take some time.
You won. I'm going to create a new one.
Okay.
Is it this one? No. I don't know how to create a new one. Yeah, well. Okay, it works. Okay, here we go again. With ghosts and with rates and real ones. Here we go. Question 1.
Handarie. Ah, I know her.
You know us all. True or false? Aredel left Gondolin because she wanted to go to... I know. What is this? We shouldn't be here. Well, this is from last time. I don't know why this is here. It might be a mistake. Well, let's... This is from the previous chapter, but Aredel left Gondolin because she wanted to go to King's Kingdom. He wanted to go see his friends. Let's see. Maybe I didn't erase it because I copy and duplicate from the previous one. Well, your ghost is winning, Adri.
Okay.
Tinuvial means, okay, yes. Tinuvial means art piercing, daughter of the twilight, shining
I don't
light,
remember.
or unclouded heaven. I didn't find a picture of
I have
Tinuvial.
no idea.
Beren named her Tinuvial, daughter of the twilight. Because that's the time where he saw her. That
Okay.
was Javi's quote. He would have got it. Okay. Ooh. Amra. Who did not die during Nirnaeth Arnoediat? Fingon, Haldir, Húrin, Huor. I don't know what.
What? Oh no.
Haldir, it was another Haldir.
That question is weird.
Why?
There was another Haldir.
Is there a mistake? Or is just confused?
I put Hooting and it said wrong.
No, Húrin is right.
I don't know why. Okay.
Okay. But I put Haldir thinking of you. Oh, Fingon.
Who is Thingol?
Fingon is Jonathan Barrow Ryder. The first time Beren saw Luthien, she was dancing and singing. Singing and dancing.
Just dancing.
The first time, just dancing. Uh-huh. Yes.
Just dancing. Yes.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Tricky question.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Later, she was singing it. Okay. No. Find the odd one out. El camion, Beren, Camlos, Lucy. These are the names given to Beren.
Oh, okay,
Beren,
I got
Camion,
it.
Camlos.
Yes.
Who's this? Mirimbokuile from the book Fair. True or false? Auta ilome means the night is passing. Well, some people have it easier than others. Well, they're beautiful. All of these words, right? This is the answer to. I'm assuming Adri or Francisco, you know the answer to what this is. No? The day is coming. I don't know. Oh, let's go, friends.
Ahora en Tuluva.
I think so. Well, I
Auto
don't know.
Ilom.
The other was too long, so the answer was this one. Okay. Okay, good, Adri. You are better than your ghost.
Handari and Handari.
Which of the following love stories do we read about first in the chapter of Beren and Luthien? About Gorlim and Eilinen, Barahir and Elenwi, Beren and Luthien, Thingol and Melian. If you were here early,
Not sure. Oh.
Gorlim and Eilinen, the guy that, you know, had a
That
sad
was
story.
kidnapped, made prisoner
Yes.
by Sauron.
Lost his wife, and he thought he was alive, but she was dead. And
Oh. Handari, almost there.
Which of these did Sauron not turn into? Spider, a wolf, a serpent, a vampire. Sauron multi-shaped. It did not turn into a spider, but a wolf, a serpent, and a vampire while fighting.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting and cool thing. And that is
Handari.
Thingol is to Menegroth, as Finrod is to Gondolin, Tangorodrim, Nargothrond, Morgoroth. This is a
Gorgoroth.
personal challenge to me. This is a personal challenge because I'm
Terror.
always confused with all of these names. Always. But now I got it. If you're struggling by me, like me, what happened?
My finger pressed another one. I was thinking about Nargothrond. I was thinking about Nargothrond. I don't know why I pushed Thangorodrim. That's not that doesn't no sense at all.
This
That's-
is my help.
That's as bad as Gorgoroth.
Yes. Menegro Thingol. Menegro
Menegro.
Thingol. Finrod, the end of Finrod from Nargothrond.
Nargothrond.
That's
Yes.
it. Like
It's obviously
Nargothrond.
Nargothrond.
It's too simple. Yeah, okay.
Shame on you, Brian.
My rebel finger
Mirimbokuile.
had no
You
sense
are
at all.
You went down to the bottom. True or false? Gulsang, Iron of Death, was once called Anglachel. Yeah, we talk about this the sword, but we never mentioned it. We didn't talk about how it was rebuilt also to become Earth.
Gurthang.
Nothing was moved. Nirnaed Arno Ediat is the first, third, fifth, or seventh battle.
Ay, no, lo puse mal.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, no, sí marqué bien. Está bien.
It's
Pensé que se me había ido el dedo al azul. Oh, I'm sorry. English, please.
Excuse me. To the blue. King Thingol is going down. True or false? After Thingol passed, Melian took the Silmarillion. In this version of
In this version.
In this version, she did not.
In this version, we're talking about this official version. Oh my god!
Published version.
Last question. No, one before last. Huang slew many werewolves, but died fighting Dragluin, lord and sire of the werewolves of Canfact. He did not die fighting Dragluin. He died much later. Fighting, I don't remember who.
Karharov.
Okay, then. Last but not least, Turing was also Agarwen, the Elfman, Adanadel, the Dread Helm, Gorthol, the Bloodstain, Mormekil, the Black Sword.
Mormegil.
Very good. Actually, all of the names are right, but mixed.
Uh-huh.
Agarwen is, I don't remember, the Bloodstain, I think. Adanadel, the Elfman.
Elfman.
Gordhol, the Dread Helm, and
Uh-huh.
Mormegil.
Mormegil, the Black Sword.
Black Sword. That's it. I think you
Good idea. Is mixing the.
Adri, that's Mormegil. No, Mumekil. No, I don't know. Well, there many names are so similar. I enjoy doing this one because I saw a meme about all the names of Turin the other day. That is it.
Nathan.
Nathan. Congratulations, Amber, for third place. Second place, Mirimbokuile. Late, but second place. Unbelievable. Adri won.
But it was not because of my finger lapses. For Tango Rodri.
What happens?
Shit happens.
Oh, Javi left. We didn't take a picture. We must take a picture. Can you guys turn on your cameras?
Yeah. With my t-shirt.
We bring my book.
Is your favorite character? Handari.
Boy. Frodo.
It's Jereny's grandpa.
Geremy.
3, 2, 1. Beautiful.
Adri, I'm wearing your favorite character.
Mr. Frodo. Frodo.